This is a sample video from AoEBuilds.com, a Age of Empires 2 training site for all your needed resources for improving in Age of Empires 2. Hey, it's Jupe from AoEBuilds.com, demonstrating Cuman 2 TC Feudal Boom. This build is kind of meant for a bit higher level players, but it will work in lower elo too. Just it's much harder for you to hit kind of the benchmarks that I've set in the build order, but it should be fine if you're low elo. You will be a bit slower to castle edge most of the time, and you might have to farm a bit more than I do in this build, for example. But usually at your elo, if you're at lower elo, then it's less likely that your opponents can punish you for that, so you should be fine in that sense. It also works on Arabia too, but there are a few things you have to remember if you're doing this on Arabia. I will talk more about Arabia in Feudal Age. Anyway, we're gonna want to push the deer in early, like really early, because we wanna save some sheep meat to Feudal Age. So I'm already gonna lure the deer. We're gonna put 3 on wood after 6 on sheep, and we're already taking the deer in now. We still want to take the boar now though. So after 3 on wood, we're gonna take the boar. And then we're gonna make a house after with the next villager. We're gonna put only 1 on berries plus the house builder. We don't necessarily even need to send the house builder yet, because we have so much deer, right? So we'll just keep 1 on the berries. Or the house builder could go there as well. It doesn't really make a huge difference. But now, because I see I have a lot of deer under the TC, I prefer to keep it there. So now everything we will make out of TC now will go to the meat/boar until the last 2 villagers, which will go to wood. If you feel like you don't have the best start, you can put those to food as well. It's better to have those in food rather than idle your TC a bit, because you are not having the necessary food. Also, we're gonna need a house, so we can use that or the berry villager. Taking the second board, try to time it good so that you don't want to bring it too early, because you might have a lot of deer meat too left. But also, your deer will kind of crash quickly, so you want to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm gonna send this one to the berries, so we have to. So 1 more to the meat. I see now we have 5 sheep left. Actually, we should have 1 more. Shouldn't we? Okay. Anyway, last 2 will go to boar. I mean to wood. I'm just gonna send these to the wood as well. Because after we click up, we're gonna send, so that we have about 10 there. So now we have 10. We're not gonna make a second lumber camp. These are gonna take the wood like this for a while. I'm gonna put 2 or 3 villagers to straggler. I will have 6 on the sheep and 2 on the straggler, just to make it less messy. Like the sheep switches become messy if you have Plus you're gonna need the wood for the farms, early feudal age anyways. Okay, so this looks kinda messy, but we're gonna use 6 villagers to build the second town center. So once you're getting closer to feudal age, make sure you have those ready. We're gonna put catapult to berries. And I'm probably gonna make the TC there next to the gold and the wood, or maybe here. Let's see, maybe there's a good spot. If you can get it between wood and gold, or wood and stone, that's always the best. Yeah, that's a good spot actually. I'm gonna build it there. I can get I don't have to make a mining camp necessarily if I put it there. So 6 villagers, put it there, get wood upgrade and mill upgrade. And now we're gonna farm around the TC. Get the point to berries again. And we can farm around that TC as well. Just spend all your wood on farms now. After you have gotten the horse collar. So if you get the horse collar and then wait maybe 20% of the horse collar research and then start building farms, you should be fine. Because the horse collar will finish before the farms finish. And then they will get the extra food on the farms. So this is gonna we are build order in that sense that we're gonna chuck a lot of villagers into the berries. Oh, and we're housed. We can take wheelbarrow now. Actually in my tests I saw that this catapult is to wood. I saw that the difference between making a wheelbarrow and not making a wheelbarrow isn't that big. I would say if you get wheelbarrow, you make a bit more resources. Or gather a bit more resources, but the uptime might be maybe a bit slower. So if you don't get housed, don't make wheelbarrow. In my tests at least, it seemed like it delayed the castle edge time maybe 20 seconds, which with this strategy might be a bit too much. But you gather more, so... Anyway, now we're just farming and the gather point goes to the berries. Use these for farming that are on the ship. It's really important that the villagers that you leave under the TC are taking the sheep and then farming. The gather point is to the berries, and everything that you send to wood before is taking wood and farming. I still keep the gather point on berries, but now if I have wood I will use that after I've done farms with the villagers that were on the ship. I will start doing farms with these. But at some point we see that we have so many on foot that we don't really need anymore. Which I think is somewhere around now, so I will already transfer 2 vills to gold. If you don't have TC next to gold, you just put this gather point to gold then. Which I'm gonna do actually, because I don't want to put more on these berries anymore. I can use also 1 villager to build a market already. At this around like, because we have 2 villagers in queue on TC, we have like 500 food. So at this point we have to start not farming and saving up for the 2 buildings that we need to click to castle age with. And then also think about the gold, right? So in my tests, that means it's about like... Because you have a lot in berries, so you're not gonna have that many farms. So it's like 10 to 15 farms maybe, when you stop making farms. So now we're getting close already with the gold. We just need a bit of food. Also with this strategy, what you can do with those berry villages, because these berries are gonna crash. I will put them on stone and then we can go Kipchaks. So now we clicked up. And now, depending on the unit choice, I think with this build, because we have so many on berries, It's a very nice transition to go to Kipchaks. So I will send them on stone, and we might send a couple more to stone too, just so we can get the castle up once we're in Castle Edge. We can also use a bit of gold to buy the castle. So one strong strategy for Arena, I would say, is now we go on stone, build one castle, keep most of the villagers still on the stone, make one safe castle, start making Kipchaks, and then we're housed. And then we roam around the Kipchaks, see if the opponent has army, and if he has, we try to kill them. We get the fletching and the walking arrow, of course. And then we'll drop a forward castle, and we work our way inside that way. We can also do cap rams then. We have a forward castle, we can make a siege workshop, and then start doing cap rams. And that's very hard to stop. In that case, we can stay 2 TCs as well. We don't necessarily need to add a third one, because our eco is pretty good. Anyways. Okay, so now we have to make sure, because we have so many on stone and we already have decent amount of farms, so this is a good eco balance for the Kipchaks. So we're gonna make a castle. And then we're gonna keep a lot on stone. Few notes here. If you want to, or if you get attacked, you just have to delay a bit to get the castle up, or if you're going knights, then instead of sending these on stone, you will put them on food and farm way, or step lancers. Now have like maybe 10 more farms if you were going for knights, or hey, it's Jupe from AoEBuilds.com, and today we are continuing our Cuman Arena 2 TC boom, and we are going to go for Kipchaks. So let's continue. We just reached Feudal Age about 25 seconds ago. We want to make sure we get our upgrades. We can get our stone upgrade as well. We're building our castle. We wanna get Watkin once we can afford it. Now with this build, we don't really need to add more TCs, but that's an option too. But I would say we kind of go all into TC into Kipchaks here, and you'll see how in a second. I think I'm gonna make loom just in case. Hit the Botkin arrow. We have this castle up. We put these villagers on stone. So we're continuing from the earlier Cuman 2 TC build video. So what we're gonna do now is keep making villagers, adding some farms but not too many, because we're making Kipchaks. It's not that important to have so many farms. We're gonna kind of go full into Feudal Age. But what we're gonna do now is we wanna get the early Kipchaks and try for getting the map control. We can do ballistic. So we just look if the enemy has done some army or is planning on an attack. Or maybe we're gonna finish off defending the attack that came in when we were in Feudal Age booming. But then, if we see there's no threat, we can already send our wills forward. If there is no threat. If there is a threat, we're gonna build a second TC at home and try to mass up a bit more Kipchaks and maybe look for a forward third castle. We keep producing the Kipchaks. We go look for a good spot to make the castle, send around 6 villagers, and then build the castle. Remember that if we build the castle here, the gate has a longer line of sight, so the opponent will see it. So that's one thing to consider. The wall has less line of sight, but if your opponent has no army, then this should be fine. You have the Kipchaks protecting. Now what we wanna do is we wanna add a siege workshop after this. I think we can do heavy plow because we're committing to 2 TCs for now. Or we could think about adding a third TC, but I like doing this with just 2 TCs. We have pretty good eco already, regardless. So we build a second castle. Then we're gonna build siege workshops, and we're gonna go capped rams and Kipchaks. can do the upgrades. We can think about bloodlines too. Bloodlines and husbandry, so we're gonna need barrack and stable for that. Now we're building the siege workshops, producing from 2 castles. I put them on control group. And have the gather point to the next, the forward castle. And now, get capped ram. Start building up rams. When you need to refresh farms, you have to think about whether you need the food or the wood, which in this case we're gonna need the wood. Now we start massing the rams. Now we can use these villages to make another castle. We could wait until we break in and then do the castle, for example. To get a bit better map control. I think in this case it's better idea to do that rather than build the next castle or second castle next to that one. So we'll go through with the rams and the Kipchaks. And the Kipchaks are pretty good all around units, so there's not really that great of a counter for them. Oh, we didn't do the ballistic, I think. Okay, so now we break through. So we see, okay, do we have the army presence? If we have the army presence, we can go for a very, very aggressive castle. If we don't, we can make it like in the range of that one. But like here I see, there's nothing the opponent can really do here to stop me. So I will just make a really aggressive castle. I will continue pushing with the rams. I will do the stable now for bloodlines and university for ballistic. I can start getting relics now too. And of course we're gonna need to build houses. Maybe at this point, even if we commit to 2 TCs pretty hard, we could think about the 3rd TC maybe. Over here. So try to get good map control. We can start pushing through. And this is gonna be really tough for the opponent to stop. The Kipchak and the capped ram push. And then we can start thinking about more castles perhaps. Or going to imp. But usually if you have this kind of position, you wanna keep on pushing, pressing the advantage rather than trying to slow down and go up to Imperial Edge. So this was Cuman 2 TC Boom into Kipchak, all in play, 2 town centers. If you have any questions, you can post them on the forum, the support forum. I hope you have a good day.